what the Green New Deal for public housing does is that it actually isn't just about centering the construction of new public housing, but I would argue that the bulk of the bill focuses on existing housing stock, on retrofitting our public housing stock, and also upgrading it. And so there are two aspects to that. One is that as a lot of people may not know, when you think about what are some of the largest contributors to carbon emissions in the country, the first thing that people will think are, cars and airplanes and transportation in general. But actually, one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions in the country are buildings. And what we have right now, especially with our older buildings, is that they have a lot of inefficient systems, whether it's heating, whether it's the actual physical infrastructure of the building, the way that it was built, in being inefficient in allowing heat to come in when it's cold and for it to stay cool. There's actually construction techniques like passive house techniques to construct a building in a way that kind of maximizes temperature without needing to be overly reliant more than necessary on air conditioning or straining your heating units. And the Green New Deal for public housing accommodates that to invest in those retrofits of existing buildings in places like NYCHA. But it's not just in the actual bones of a building. What's really important is, as I mentioned, the systems that are related to a building, and that includes water, heat, and electricity. So what the Green New Deal for public housing would do would be it would create a lot of jobs and projects to, for example, start the process of transitioning NYCHA to solar power. That's one example. Another example is how what we are starting to learn more and more about gas stoves, especially in smaller apartment style buildings, is how much of a health hazard they can be. For similar reasons in what I was talking about with methane, is that it emits gas that we cannot see, but that we could breathe in. And what we're starting to learn is that these really high child asthma rates, especially in facilities like NYCHA, could potentially have a connection to the actual appliances of these buildings. And so the Green New Deal for public housing not only addresses the bones of the building, it addresses the heat, electricity, and other support systems in the building. And it also focuses on programs to upgrade appliances to be clean energy focused, so electric stoves, et cetera, which also has really important health benefits as well.